it is now time for Texas to start to deport the foreigners that have come here to this state and return them to their country of origin. It is time to now do that. And
Charlie Kirk tells Texas college students that it's about time we start deporting illegal aliens. Hey guys, this is Isabella Moody from Resist the Mainstream. Make sure you give today's video a like, leave a comment down below, subscribe to our channel, and let's see what Charlie Kirk has to say to college students about deporting the illegals. Let's get into it.
To have anywhere between 10 to 15,000 people coming across the border is an invasion. I don't care what your politics are. You could be here, you could be on the super far left. It doesn't matter. It's unsustainable. And this is not a racial thing, but the bad guys actually look at it as a racial thing. Now, in a very perverse way, they might end up being wrong, but it's still wrong what they're doing because they think, and it's not my belief system of this, but just look at what the Castro brothers have said repeatedly. They said that as Texas becomes more Hispanic and less white, they thought that Texas would become more left-wing. Well, it's not that simple, actually, because it turns out the Hispanic community is not a monolith, and that there's a lot of Hispanic conservatives out there that don't believe that men can give birth, and they want a secure border, and they want police, and they want a rule of law. So it's not that simple. But what it does do, outside of the politics, is it does destabilize a country. And that's the bigger point, is that you cannot have an unregulated flow of millions of people. We're not doing background checks. We're not doing DNA testing. We have no idea where they're from. And act or even believe that somehow a stable country can continue. And for those of you that either came to this country legally or your parents did, what is happening on the southern border is an insult to all of you that waited in line. It is an insult for all of you that had to go through the proper protocol and process. That basically what it is why'd you follow the law? And what they're saying.
I mean, Charlie has a great point there. It's why would you follow the law if you know people are getting rewarded for breaking the law? It makes no sense. It's like, what's the point? What's the point in paying so much, waiting, 11 years or something to be able to immigrate legally? What's the point? Just cross the border. You get all the benefits, no consequences. Yeah, it might be tough. It might be a tough journey, but hey, it's worth it in the end. I mean, it's abysmal. It's abysmal. And the fact that we are rewarding people for willingly breaking our laws is treasonous. Honestly, people who support that should be tried for committing treason.
Saying basically is you don't have to follow the law anymore. And I've been patient, and I actually have seen more and more fight out of your governor recently. I wish it would have happened earlier.
This is Texas Governor, by the way, Texas Governor Greg Abbott, which, by the way, fun fact, my husband and I moved from Texas to here in Arizona. And yeah, I mean, let's be real. Texas's Governor Greg Abbott just doesn't stand for keeping our nation a sovereign nation, or at least it took him a little too long to stand. But for some who are aware of Greg Abbott, they're surprised that he ever could stand at all.
And I want to see that next step taken, and I think his administration is getting closer and closer to that, which is it is now time for Texas to start to deport the foreigners that have come here to this state and return them to their country of origin. It is time to now do that. And largely because the federal government has left us no choice, and it is a very simple moral question. If the federal government is tasked with the safety and the well-being and the administration of the rule of law, and they have year over year told you they are not going to do that, Texas, which was once its own country, which can therefore declare an invasion clause easier than any other state in the nation, does not just have a right, but a duty to take this into its own hands and to fix this problem. And I think
Amen.
Greg Abbott, to his credit, has been feeling the pressure and has been doing some stuff. I mean, you got the barriers, you got the razor wire, you got balloons on the, whatever those big things are in the big objects in the Rio Grande Valley. That's fine. You got the National Guard. It's hard for me to paint this picture. If you haven't seen the video, I encourage you to look at it, where Texas National Guard really steamrolled by hundreds of people last week as if, like, no, this is our country, we're just going to come right in. And, you know, some people say, well, the Texas National Guard should have resisted. But the Texas National Guard, in an ideal, should have resisted. But think about it. They would have gotten probably arrested by the federal government for, you know, violent confrontation of migrants. And that's another important point, which is there are some people that are coming that can fit the quote-unquote migrant mold. But a vast majority of these people are military age, fighting age males that are 20, 21, and 22 years old from 120 different countries. We know that thousands of people have been intercepted on the southern border from the terror watch list, and we have no idea where they're going on the interior of the United States. And I hate to say, but this feels awfully intentional. It feels as if that they want this to happen. Now, why? We can have a robust discussion about it, but I don't get from the current ruling regime that they love the country like you do.
They don't. They want to change the country. They know that they're losing voters in their own country, so they want to import a whole new voter class. And they want America to no longer be a white Christian nation. Let's be real. Their goal is to import all these different races, all these different religions, because they are sick and tired of the white Christian nation that is America. And that's what it should be. That's what it should be. That's what our country was founded on. Not just being white. I'm not saying like being white, but primarily we know that most people in America have been white. But that is steadily declining as decades come and go. Just look around you. Just look around you. Just saying. Don't kill the messenger, okay?
That they love the country the way that those of you that serve this nation do. In fact, I feel as if they want to turn it into something different. Yeah. That they want to try to overwhelm the system. Mm-hmm. Before some of you yell up and say, you're a conspiracy theorist, well, you guys should study an academic paper that is called the Cloward-Piven Strategy. It was written in the 1970s by two academics, Cloward and Piven. They were communists, self-described Marxists and communists. And they said, hey, the way that we communists are going to take over America is 3 steps, 3 very basic things. We need to try to make sure America borrows so much money that the currency is worthless and the national debt becomes unsustainable. We need to try to build an administrative state or a deep state bureaucracy that swallows the private sector and have DC be the most important part of the country and uncontrolled mass migration into America to destabilize the fabric. Now, we wouldn't know any one of those 3 things, of course. We are borrowing $1 trillion every 100 days in this country. For those of you that want to own a home, for those of you that want to have a future, it is literally getting stolen from you by these unelected bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. Again, this is not a political statement. In 2020, when there was a different president, the average income to be able to afford a home in this country was $59,000 a year, according to Zillow.com. It is now $106,000 a year to be able to comfortably own a home in this country. Now, it might be less here in Lubbock, Texas. Wow. I don't know. I mean, but I bet property has gone up everywhere. I bet it's gone up here too. And but it's probably a little bit easier here. But your incomes are probably not as high as they are in Dallas. So it all kind of evens out. And by the way, that's what they want. They don't want you to own homes. They want you to be permanent renters for the rest of your life because you're easier to control.
Wow. I mean, that was a lot of good information from Charlie Kirk. It's honestly scary to me. And I mean, just to think about the average income to be able to easily afford a house is insane, that it's almost double. Just not within like 50 years, not within like 100 years, but within a new presidency. So that's shocking. And that paper he talked about, I actually did read that in college about how communists will be able to successfully take over America. I read that in a sociology class at UMass Amherst, and the teacher was literally arguing in favor of it, like talking about this plan in a positive light, like literally how to communism taking over America. That's what the professors are literally telling students is a good thing and we should strive for. So you tell me that college isn't a scam. You tell me that college professors are not brainwashing students into becoming communists. Because I was there, I saw it happen in real time, and it's messed up and scary. And conservatives, it's about time conservatives start doing their own form of training people to be conservative so we can actually fight back and have a fighting chance at getting our country back. Gosh, this topic fires me up. But yeah, that's all we have time for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you next time. Bye.